2026 Toyota GRSupra MK5.
This part establishes the who, the what, and the when.
But that when is doing a lot of the heavy lifting right at the start.
It really is. It immediately sets up a time frame that's future-oriented. This isn't a current model year. This is something in the pipeline.
Something that's coming.
And GRSupra MK5 confirms the base platform. We know GR means performance. MK5s are the current generation. But linking 2026 to the MK5, that's the first real nugget of insight.
Absolutely. The value there is just the confirmation of its longevity. The current Supra is the MK5, so by attaching a defined future year, 2026, to it,
it tells you they're not done with it.
Exactly. It tells us the manufacturer has planned for, and probably budgeted for, significant iterations. Maybe a major mid-cycle refresh, the .5 version, that carries the platform well into the middle of the decade.
So if you're tracking investment or trying to predict product cycles, that combination, a known model with a specific future date, it signals a commitment.
A huge commitment. It's way beyond a standard yearly update. It's real evidence of continued platform refinement.
And that refinement is likely significant enough to need a whole new internal spec line.
Right. They're iterating, not phasing out. So, okay. We've established its identity and its future existence. Now let's move beyond the consumer-facing stuff and into the first technical enigma.
Which would be those two capital letters right in the middle, FE.
E.
This is our first piece of insider shorthand. It looks small, but these little acronyms are often what separates a standard production car from a really specialized project.
Precisely. In technical docs, especially in development specs, 2 or 3 letters can communicate a complete change in configuration. With FE, we have to consider several industry standards before we can narrow down what it probably means here.
Okay, so let's play the field. What are the usual suspects for FE in the car world that would be important enough to be in a spec like this?
Well, the 3 most common interpretations, and they can sometimes conflict, are front engine, fuel efficient, or some kind of proprietary code like factory experimental.
So front engine. That seems kind of redundant, doesn't it? The Supra is already a front engine car.
It is, which makes it pretty unlikely to be the key differentiator here. If it's redundant, it's not helpful to an engineer trying to quickly identify a specific build.
Agreed. So what about fuel efficient?
Now, that's where the analysis gets, complicated and interesting. If SE does stand for fuel efficient, which is often used for, greener powertrains, it creates an immediate tension with what comes next in the line.
The GT4 racing package.
Exactly. Why would you pair a fuel-efficient designation with a GT4 racing package?
That tension is gold, though. It suggests either they're testing a radical new engine, something downsized but still powerful enough for racing, or, and this is probably more likely, it points toward that third possibility.
Which is often the case with these super specific lines. It's proprietary, an internal-only chassis code or development code. So given the context, FE is most likely an initialism for a specific component they're testing. A new transmission, a hybrid system variant, maybe a new structural element that's unique to that 2026 refresh.
So it's the hidden signal. This isn't just any MK5, it's the specific test bed for whatever the FE system is.
Yes, that's it. It transforms the vehicle's identity from just a model type into a unique specific test assignment.
What's fascinating here is just the efficiency of that language, communicating all that complexity with just 2 letters.
It's incredibly efficient. And now we know we're looking at a 2026 model with a unique new technical system. So now we can add the performance layer.
Okay, so we have the platform and the secret engineering variable. Now let's get into the high-octane part. GT4 pack.
GT4 pack.
I mean, that just screams serious performance intent. It pulls the vehicle out of the world of daily drivers and puts it firmly on the track.
It does, and it uses a globally recognized standard to do it. The GT4 designation is very specific in motorsports. It's a class for production-derived race cars with really strict rules on cost, accessibility, and performance.
So they have to hit specific power-to-weight ratios, fixed aero, mandated safety features.
All right, roll cages, all of it.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, this GT4 pack means this 2026 variant is either being prepared for homologation,
meaning official certification for competition,
or it's a civilian street car that's engineered using those same rigorous racing rules as the blueprint, a road car with a race car's discipline.
And the pack part is crucial. That implies completeness. It isn't just a spoiler or some optional brakes. A GT4 pack means all the required racing mods.
So specific suspension geometry, stripped interior for weight, fire suppression.
All of it. Integrated right from the factory, not bolted on later.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's circle back to that cryptic FE. If this vehicle is designed to be compliant with the very precise rules of GT4 racing, wouldn't the designation be a lot less ambiguous? Doesn't putting the mysterious FE next to the very definitive GT4 pack suggest this isn't a final model?
This raises an important question. You've hit on a key point of, well, conflict identification when you're reading technical documents.
So it's a prototype.
It has to be. If it were a finished product, the naming would be simpler. The combination suggests this is pre-homologation testing. They're making sure the new FE system can handle the GT4 rigors.
Or it's some kind of specialized internal unit for training or marketing, maybe.
Exactly. Built to those standards, but with that specific FE development equipment installed, it's the bridge between the R&D lab and the racetrack.
A unit of just extreme specialization. It exists purely to test the boundaries of performance and engineering. And that leads us to the final, and I think the most evocative part of this name.
The signature detail, undercover spec.
What does undercover even imply in the context of a high-performance racing package? It immediately creates intrigue. It suggests specialization, sure, but more than that, it suggests secrecy. This spec is explicitly designed not to draw attention.
Well, in the development world, undercover can refer to two main things, aesthetics or function.
Okay.
Aesthetically, it might just mean a stealth package. All the performance parts are there, the GT4 setup is complete, but the car lacks any big branding, unique paint, or wild arrow that would just shout, prototype.
So it's designed to blend in with normal traffic during real-world testing.
Precisely. We've seen this before, right? Manufacturers wanting to test high-performance parts in busy, real-world environments without giving away their entire product roadmap to competitors or the public.
Hiding a prototype engine in a standard-looking body shell.
Yes. And that functional undercover approach is critical. Functionally, it often means it's a test mule. A vehicle assigned internally, maybe to a regulatory body for early testing, or to a remote engineering team for discrete off-site validation.
So it tells us this document is about a project that is, by design, not for public consumption. This unit is intentionally shielded from public view in competitors' spy cameras.
It's the difference between a shiny concept car at a show and a car quietly putting miles on a remote desert road. The undercover spec confirms the secrecy and the high stakes of developing that FE system and the GT4 tuning.
This final qualifier really defines the document and makes this specific build singular.
It elevates the whole thing from just a product line item to a critical project file inside the R&D division. It's the name you use when the information contained within the car is more sensitive than usual.
Performance testing with secrecy.
That's the priority.
Okay, let's synthesize this. Let's put this whole narrative together. We've managed to decode an entire project structure from just one line of text. It's a journey that started with a calendar date and ended with a secret mission.
We started with the foundation, the 2026 GRSupra MK5 lineage. That guarantees continued platform refinement, establishes the investment, and the future intent.
Then we cracked the engineering secret, the specific internal designation FE, which signals a non-standard, possibly experimental technical configuration, a new powertrain, a hybrid system, something new being tested for that future model.
Then we layered on the serious intent, the GT4 pack. That dictates a whole suite of track-focused performance mods, confirming this unit is configured for competitive standards and maximum capability.
And finally, we uncovered the operational status. It exists in a unique, non-standard configuration designated as an undercover spec. That confirms it's a specialized testing mule, a stealth variant designed for discrete internal evaluation away from public eyes.
And for you, the listener, understanding this level of technical naming is so crucial in any industry. Whether you're tracking aerospace parts, software builds, or car prototypes. This one line shows how the precise language of internal docs can communicate a product's lifespan, its technical backbone, its performance capabilities, and its non-public status all at once.
It really is the difference between seeing a simple file name and knowing the entire blueprint that file contains. It's the language of the insiders, the ones who understand the technical shorthand.
Exactly. Knowing this much depth means you are operating with the earliest, most specialized knowledge available. It gives you the ability to predict the technical direction of the entire platform just based on what they're testing right now.
That is the power of specificity. The joy of this kind of forensic analysis. We took one line and we extracted a multi-year development plan, an engineering priority, and a high-stakes project assignment.
And so here is the final thought for you to consider. Given how much detail and critical information is conveyed by just one highly specific line of text, 2026 Toyota GRSupra MK5 FE GT4 Pack undercover spec, what other critical project-defining information might be hiding in plain sight? In the internal document names, the file tags, and the acronyms you encounter every day in your own work.
The knowledge is often in the labeling, if you know the code. Thank you for joining us for this exceptionally detailed deep dive. We'll be back soon with a whole stack of new sources to explore.